Coming up, deputies trying to figure out what led to a deadly shooting at a Manatee County bar over the weekend. Plus, Northport getting closer to choosing a new police chief. How you can get to know the remaining candidates in person. And local reaction ahead of the historic summit between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Your Suncoast News starts now.
You're watching ABC 7 News at noon.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us on this Monday. Topping our news at noon, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office trying to figure out what led to a deadly shooting at a Bradenton bar over the weekend. It happened early Sunday morning at Tommyknockers Saloon on 14th Street West. Police say two groups got into a fight at the bar and then took the argument outside. That's where shots were fired. One person later died at a hospital. 4 others are still recovering from non-life-threatening injuries. But the search continues for the gunman today, and deputies are not ruling out the possibility of multiple shooters.
We have every reason to believe that who came to the group that came to the saloon came there with the purpose of trying to start an argument, which led to a fight, which led to a shooting, which led to a homicide.
There was no indication that there was going to be a problem, just two groups of people being at the same place at the same time, and they should never have been here.
Again, investigators are not ruling out the possibility the shooting could be drug or gang related. Gunman is described as bald, Hispanic male, about 5'8" tall. Anyone with information is asked to call Manatee County Crime Stoppers at 866-634-TIPS. Happening tonight, the city of Northport is taking another step in selecting the next Northport police chief. 4 finalists for the position will be meeting and greeting the public at the commission chambers at Northport City Hall. ABC 7's Marla Spence breaks down the remaining candidates.
8 police chief applicants, Northport Police Department has come down to its top 4 candidates, and each bring a variety of experience to the Suncoast. The search for a new leader comes after Northport's police chief Kevin Vespia retired late March to spend more time with his family. He was on the force for 18 years. In the meantime, Captain Chris Morales stepped up as the interim police chief. Now that the department is down to the wire, Morales will be passing the torch to whomever will be the best fit for the police department. The 4 candidates include Ralph Anthony, Todd Garrison, Paul Grohowski, and Frank Kitzero. Each candidate has more than 20 years of professional law enforcement experience. Anthony most recently served at the Tampa International Airport Police Department as the Deputy Chief of Police. Garrison is currently employed by the Lee County Sheriff's Office as a Captain District Commander. Grohowski most recently serves as the Chief of Police for the Allen Hancock Joint Community College District Police Department in California. And Kitzero is currently the Jupiter Police Department's Police Chief. Tonight, between 6 to 8 people who live in Northport will get to see what each candidate has to offer. They'll be meeting at the Commission Chamber at the Northport City Hall. I'm Marla Spence reporting for ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
Marla, thanks. Looking ahead to later this week, Sarasota Police will host a second Stop the Gun Violence community meeting. This one's scheduled for Thursday night at 6:30, once again at the Robert L. Taylor Community Complex. Police Chief Bernadette DePino plans to focus on 5 primary areas to stop gun violence: laws that could be put into place locally, mental health, education, community involvement, and prevention. Police also want your ideas on how to stop the violence in the area. There have been at least 17 shootings in the Newtown area of North Sarasota so far this year. New at noon, Florida Highway Patrol says a 16-year-old Nokomis boy is responsible for a crash that left 4 people seriously injured. It happened at the US 41 bypass at Via Veneto in Venice Sunday afternoon. Witnesses say the teen driver was speeding when he lost control and started spinning. The car went airborne and landed on top of another vehicle. The driver and his 2 passengers were taken to the hospital along with the driver of the other vehicle. An update now from Singapore, where President Trump is getting ready to make history with the North Korean leader. ABC's Tara Palmieri explains what the commander-in-chief is hoping to achieve in his first face-to-face meeting with Kim Jong-un.
In less than 24 hours, President Trump will meet one-on-one with North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in Singapore. Only their interpreters will join them. On the island of Sentosa, a word meaning peace, the president will get the opportunity to look Kim in the eye and decide if he can seal the ultimate deal.
Within the first minute, I'll know.
How?
Just my touch, my feel. That's what I do.
Following that first meeting, the two leaders will share a meal surrounded by aides, where they'll hammer out the final details. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo saying Trump is likely to sign some sort of agreement with Kim tomorrow.
There are only two people that can make decisions of this magnitude, and those two people are going to be sitting in a room together tomorrow.
The president to leave earlier than expected by Tuesday night local time. Pompeo said the talks are moving quicker than planned.
They're in fact moving quite rapidly.
While the ultimate goal is a signed agreement from Kim to give up his nuclear arsenal, Pompeo arguing it's not the final step.
We are going to ensure that we set up a system sufficiently robust that we're able to verify these outcomes, and it's only once the V happens that we'll proceed apace.
Trump also playing hardball, warning that Kim Jong-un will only have one chance to make a deal.
It's a one-time shot.
But earlier, still seeming confident that it will happen. Kim Jong-un arrived in Singapore with his sister. It's his third time leaving North Korea and the farthest he's traveled since taking power. On the night before the summit, he hit the streets of Singapore, actually driving by on this road behind me over here. Tara Palmieri, ABC News, Singapore.
A Suncoast presidential author who has also written a book about politics in the Far East urges Americans to keep expectations low for this summit. ABC 7's Ray Collins joins us now to explain why. Ray?
Scott, Mark Weston says it's very rare for two leaders to have an initial meeting and have anything major accomplished. Weston's latest book is about presidential politics, but a previous bestseller includes his research on the Korean Peninsula. It's called Giants of Japan. The Sarasota-based author says a good deal would be North Korea dropping its nuclear weapons that can reach the U.S. in exchange for the U.S. removing troops from South Korea. But he says, don't expect much from this summit.
Usually when two heads of state get together, 90–95% of the negotiation has already been completed. There are just a few fine points. The two heads of state work on the fine points and then the deal is done. That has not happened here. So it would be wonderful if they can negotiate a huge nuclear agreement in a couple of days. I think it's extremely unlikely to happen.
Well, Weston also had an interesting comment about Kim Jong-un being in Singapore right now. He says Kim has rarely been in the West, and it could make him realize what he's missing in North Korea. Scott?
Interesting. All right. Thank you so much, Ray. To learn more about the summit and other news, including what's going on here on the Suncoast, as well as your first alert weather forecast, download our apps. You can find them in the App Store under WWSB or My Suncoast. Well, let's get a check on our weather now. Meteorologist John Sculty on this steamy Monday afternoon now.
A little bit, yes indeed.
Yeah.
It was kind of, some places a little cooler this morning though, coming in around 72 degrees or so in inland areas, so that was kind of nice for them. But we are on our way to a hot, warm, steamy day, no doubt about it. And over the next several days, we'll probably be just about at or maybe a little above the average. So get ready. Good to see you back again, Vi. Missed you.
Thank you, John. Yeah,
good
great
to
be back.
We have outside our door a pretty nice look at our Lakewood Ranch webcam. Started off the morning with a lot of blue sky out there. And still has a lot of blue sky, but it is peppered with some fair weather clouds. The clouds kind of rolling in now, and we'll be moving basically into inland areas this afternoon. Under those clouds, well, we've got one or two lone showers in progress around the mouth of Charlotte Harbor. Charlotte Harbor helping to produce the necessary ingredients, so lake breezes and such for that. We're watching a little bit of fair weather cloudiness move across the area. Most of the clouds are located to the north and to the south of us. And we're in kind of a little bit of a dry slot, I guess you'll call it, across the state of Florida right now. This little tongue of dry air moved in, and it's kind of reduced our rainfall chances. No, we'll put it at about 20% this afternoon for inland areas for the most part, with the daytime high coming in the upper 80s, about where we should be for this time of year. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. ABC 7 business commentator Richard Stern joins us now with a check on Wall Street so far today, and the market kind of on hold today.
On hold. We got a little bit of news pending, by the way. Welcome back from me as well. We got some news pending, and that's why we're on hold. Hurry up and wait. That seems to be the story of the day. The market's gone almost nowhere, and the reason it's gone almost nowhere is simply because of the two huge items to take place in the next 48 to 72 hours. Number one, of course, is the meeting in Singapore that we've been hearing about for a number of days now, and certainly how that comes out. We'll see what Wall Street has to say about that tomorrow. And number two is a meeting by the Federal Reserve Board. That meeting is taking place on tomorrow and on Wednesday. An announcement expected about 2 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon. Let's take a look now and see the numbers for the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And in fact, there you see, that's on hold, down 2.11% at 25,314.49. That on volume of 387 million shares. The NASDAQ is higher, albeit barely, up 11 points, not quite 0.2% at 7,656.74. That on volume of 879 million shares. The S&P up as well. The S&P is up 4.5 points, not quite 0.2% at 2,783.43. Well, I expect you're familiar with the name IHOP. I know you're familiar with the name IHOP, and guess what? IHOP, at least temporarily, is changing its name from IHOP to IHOB with a B. And the reason? Pancakes are now becoming, look at that, burgers. Yes, indeed. IHOB is stressing burgers because certainly that's a big part of the restaurant business that they appear to be missing out on. They're busier than heck until 11 o'clock in the morning and not so much after that. So they're going after it in a big way. They've been serving burgers ever since they started in business in 1958. But guess what? They want to put the emphasis there now. They're competing with a few companies, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King. Good luck to them. Right?
A lot of competition there.
Exactly.
We'll see you again at 5.
I will be here.
And maybe they'll get some news to affect the market today. We'll see.
Find out in about 4 hours.
All right. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Still to come in your Suncoast News today, could a new blood test help give expecting mothers a better idea of when their baby could be born? And how a 6-year-old boy helped save his friend drowning in a swimming pool. Stay with us.
The ABC 7 Stock Report is sponsored by Sunset Cadillac.
Thanks to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, what was once impossible is happening today for thousands of patients with blood cancer.
I live.
I live. I live. I live.
I live.
She lives.
Because of the research done by the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in the battle against blood cancer.
If you had a chance to support the research that is saving lives, what would you do?
You are like no other. So why should your choices be ordinary? Ghibli, the absolute opposite of ordinary.
Experience it at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
Did you know you could get life insurance for less than 32 cents a day? With Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage, you can get up to $25,000 in protection with a single phone call. TruStage can help free your family from immediate financial stress when you're gone.
Utility bills, mortgages, car payments, those are a lot of things that can add up pretty fast.
And even if you're on a fixed income, prices fit your budget, starting at less than 32 cents a day. Plus, your price will never increase and your benefit will never decrease. And with no medical tests or health questions, you cannot be turned down for any reason. Call 1-800-842-7189. Now, for a free, no-obligation quote, TruStage offers plans to fit your budget. Help protect your family from immediate financial burdens after you're gone with Guaranteed Acceptance whole life insurance through TruStage. Call 1-800-842-7189 now.
Imagine a world filled with pillow fights, playgrounds, and the search for the perfect climbing tree. Every kid deserves that world, but 1 in 5 kids in America struggle with hunger. At No Kid Hungry, we're committed to creating a world where every kid eats healthy food every day. We raise funds, we help families, and we lift up communities.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So really, the next couple of days are going to be very warm and humid and sunny as well. Mostly sunny and mostly dry today. We do have a slight chance of a shower in the inland areas for the most part. But down around the mouth of Charlotte Harbor, we've got one in progress. Northport, you know what I'm talking about. You got some rain down there. By 7 p.m., I think the temperature will probably drop down to about 85 degrees, and it'll still be a very pretty day. Little rain chance as we head into the later part of the afternoon and evening. And overnight, I don't think we'll see any either. You wake up tomorrow morning to pretty quiet conditions as well. So we've got this one lone shower that kind of hit Fort Myers and actually held together enough. Some of the outflow from that held together enough that after it passed over the mouth of Charlotte Harbor, it produced one lone shower right here, moving through areas of Northport right now. That lone shower has actually produced a lightning pop, one little lightning pop as it left Rotunda and is now on its way toward Northport. It'll all be fizzling out over the course of the next half hour, and really don't have much more than that to talk about. We've got this dry air plume kind of lifting northward on the water vapor imagery here. You can see it. It's this kind of tan color. That's really going to help suppress our rain showers perhaps over our area. And then down to the south, we've got plentiful amounts of moisture. To the north of us, we've got plenty of amounts of moisture, but it's really right over central Florida where high pressure has kind of got its axis, and that's very little chance of rain showers with that dome of sinking air over central Florida. You can see all the showers down to the south and to the north of us, and that's pretty much where they're going to stay. As we put the weather into motion, you'll notice the showers kind of filling in over the spine of the state, but really not over our areas. The sea breeze will tend to keep coastal regions clear of showers. Sunny, dry, calm in the tropics. That's good news. And rain chance will probably start to increase a little bit by the time we hit the end of the week. We'll talk about that in the next half hour. Southeast wind turning west at about 10 knots. We'll look for 88, 89 degrees for a daytime high today, and then tomorrow about the same. Chance of rain about 20% tomorrow, and Wednesday and Thursday as well. Pretty much the same sort of situation. But then on Friday, I think we'll pick up rain chance of about 50% as we get a little bit more moisture coming our way, and perhaps a little bit of a trough develops over the Atlantic. And then over the course of the weekend, pretty nice, but fairly dry for this time of year. Scott?
All right, John, thank you. In Health Smart, cigarette smoking among teens is at an all-time low, but the Centers for Disease Control says e-cigarette use is a growing concern. Here in Florida, the use of traditional tobacco products by teens was down to just a little more than 4% last year, or 2% below the national average. But new data from the CDC found that e-cigs are now the most commonly used form of tobacco across the country. When will a pregnant woman deliver her baby? Well, right now, it's just an informed guess, which is the best doctors can do. But as ABC's Janae Norman explains, a new blood test may be the answer.
Currently, the best tool a doctor has to decide the number of weeks of a pregnancy is an ultrasound. They give a good idea of how far along a given pregnancy is, but an ultrasound can't tell when a woman will deliver. The leading cause of infant death is preterm birth, and with a more precise delivery date, doctors can prepare at-risk pregnancies sooner. Researchers in this pilot study done at Stanford developed a test that looks for genetic RNA particles circulating in the blood. They found that RNA may provide an accurate estimate of fetal development and gestational age throughout pregnancy. The blood test was as accurate as ultrasounds. The test would allow doctors to predict up to 2 months in advance a risk of spontaneous preterm birth. Researchers told ABC News that non-invasive blood tests like these, which they hope to test more broadly in the next few years, will lead to healthier pregnancies and healthier babies. With this Medical Minute, I'm Janae Norman, ABC News.
All right, let's head over to the kitchen and say hello to ABC 7 Culinary Director Judy Gallagher on this Monday. Hi, Judy. What's for lunch today?
Hi, Scott, and welcome back. Just in time, we are celebrating Father's Day this week, so big shout out to you and John Scalzi. And we're going to be making hoisin glazed pork chops. Nice thick pork chops coming out from the butchers at Whole Foods. We're going to grill up some onions and some broccolini and shiitake mushrooms. We're going to make a really good marinade with some ginger and garlic and some Asian spices. So stay with me throughout the hour. Dad's Day is coming up soon.
Get to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota for big savings during the Jeep Celebration event. Shop the area's largest selection of new 2018 Jeep Wranglers, or get the most awarded SUV of all time, a new Jeep Cherokee, for as little as $19,999. Find the path to your next great adventure in the all-new Jeep Compass for just $17,999. Better prices, bigger selection. Go to Sunset Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Fiat in Sarasota.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard serve to give back to their country and communities. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for an array of benefits, such as affordable health and life insurance benefits, education benefits, including tuition assistance, student loan repayment and GI Bill programs, a retirement plan based on part-time service, and VA home mortgages. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more about all the benefits available in the Army National Guard.
My name is Julius. I have cerebral palsy. I work for Farmer Jeffrey Weising Law Firm. I do a lot of data entry and scanning documents. I want to increase my working experience to make the company much better. At the end of the day, it's good to think of the day's work and to think about what I have accomplished.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to abilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Northland Outdoors is about so much more than the biggest fish or the hottest hunting spots. All across the Northland, there are amazing people with incredible stories to tell. We're going to find those stories and share them with everyone. Join us each and every week as we explore the Northland and experience some of the most exciting outdoor adventures in the country right here in our own backyard. This is Northland Outdoors.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
Okay, so what would you bring to my company?
What do you need?
I need problem-solving skills.
I got through high school without a car, a phone, or a computer.
No college degree, though.
Not yet, but life's taught me a lot, and I'm ready for more.
Well, you're not the typical kind of candidate that I hire. But you are exactly what I'm looking for.
Your company could be missing out on the candidates it needs most. Learn how to find a great pool of untapped talent at gradsoflife.org.
Welcome back. Caught on camera, the dramatic rescue after a 12-year-old boy nearly drowns in a pool, pulled to safety by his friend and revived by a neighbor. ABC's Ariel Reshef shows us why both are now being hailed as heroes.
Chilling surveillance video from this Minnesota apartment complex swimming pool capturing the moment a 12-year-old boy was narrowly saved from the brink of tragedy when he slipped under the water.
There were 6 people and I looked around and there's 5.
Watch as 13-year-old Cody, just 80 pounds, dives in, spotting his friend Evan unconscious in the deep end, summoning superhero strength to scoop him from the bottom of the pool.
I hold him around the waist, put his head over my shoulder, and I just carried him like that.
Desiree Pasco, who usually uses a walker or wheelchair, mustering every ounce of strength to help pull Evan out of the water.
He was so tiny in that moment, and he was blue, and he was cold.
She instantly starts CPR, and within seconds, a miracle.
Watching a child go from totally blue to a little tiny bit of pink is a rewarding feeling.
Evan is on the mend, grateful for another chance.
Who need a hero? You need a hero.
And for the 2 new heroes in his life.
It changed like how I saw life as it is, and it's more fragile than I thought. They're definitely my heroes because without Cody and Des, I wouldn't be alive.
That's Ariel Reshef reporting. Evan is now recovering from the incident, and as you can tell, he is expected to be just fine. Great story. Let's get back over to the kitchen, and again with Judy Gallagher on this Monday. Judy?
Okay, Scott, getting your lunch ready. So I have nice thick cut pork chops. Now remember, you have to make sure they're about evenly cut because you want them to sear the right direction. So there we go. So we're going to add a little toasted sesame oil to the pan. You can also use just a tad of regular Pam or canola oil. Avoid the olive oil though, it's a little too heavy for this dish. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do some nice flavored sea salt. So what I'm using today, just to enhance the flavor, because I know at our house they really like the Indonesian spices and curries, I'm doing a mixed blend of a Malaysian curry. So we'll sear those with the salt and that spice from the Spice and Tea Exchange. So we have that done, right? So next what we're gonna do is we're gonna make some space because when the pork chops get turned over, we're gonna put a glaze on them and then we're going to put the glaze on the vegetables. So watch what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna gently lay these around the edges. We have a little baby bok choy, that's gonna be the garnish, but the broccolini is going to be the vegetable for Dad and hopefully he'll eat it. Towards the end, we're gonna add these beautiful shiitake mushrooms. So that will bring a bright flavor to it. Now you certainly could serve this with a little stir-fry rice. This is for the dad that doesn't wanna necessarily eat the carbs. So let's sear the pork chops about 6 to 8 minutes per side. You can finish them in the oven. So we have the oven at 450 just to get that nice and hot. Then when we get back, it's time to make our glaze that's going to go right on top halfway through. So come back, we'll be making this beautiful flavorful dish just for Dad.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do-it-yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
If you think it's hot outside, just wait until you see even hotter savings inside. Only at Rugs As Art Hot Summer Savings Sale event will you find the lowest prices on a vast selection of stunning rugs, furniture accents, and accessories. This special event only happens once a year, so hurry in before the best selections are gone. The Hot Summer Savings event ends soon, so don't miss out on the best prices ever. Rugs As Art, Sarasota's only area rug superstore.
Florida Studio Theater presents Always Patsy Cline, now held over due to popular demand. A tuneful and memorable tribute, Patsy Cline's rise to legendary stardom is told through the eyes of her biggest fan. Featuring such hit songs as Walkin' After Midnight, I Fall to Pieces, Crazy, and many more you know and love. Critics are calling Always Patsy Cline warm and genuine and engaging. Audiences calling it outstanding. Always Patsy Cline is now playing. Tickets can be purchased by calling 941-366-9000 or by visiting floridastudiotheater.org.
I'll be right back. Hi! You think you're probably sober?
Yeah.
But you're thinking about taking the back roads home, just in case. If you're probably sober, then why would you do that? Good choice.
Probably okay isn't okay. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend.
That's a full glass of wine. I'll be chatting you later.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
My name is Stephen Jaffe. The law firm's name is Farmer Jaffe. One of the beautiful things about Julius is he's always smiling, and it becomes infectious. The fact that Julius has a disability has absolutely nothing to do with the quality of work that he's done. Just a great person you want on your staff.
Hi, this is Dan Marino. When your business recruits people with disabilities, everybody wins. To find out how, go to disabilitieswork.employflorida.com.
Coming up, the war of words between the Trump administration and Canada's Prime Minister. Plus, a new skyscraper opens at the former site of New York City's Twin Towers. We'll show you the latest World Trade Center building and what led to a SWAT standoff in Orlando where 4 children are being held hostage.
You're watching ABC 7 News at 12:30.
Welcome back. Our top story today at 12:30. President Trump hopes to negotiate with a one-time nemesis. He took aim this weekend at historic allies as well after attending the G7 summit in Canada on Friday. ABC's Serena Marshall explains why President Trump called for Russia to be readmitted to the G7.
It's a remarkable photo, a U.S. president in a tense showdown with U.S. allies, all over trade. As the president departed to make peace with North Korea, he tweeted, "Sorry, we cannot let our friends or enemies take advantage of us on trade anymore," not backing down from those stiff tariffs on aluminum and steel. The president had called it a matter of national security. Canada says that rationale is absurd.
Frankly, insulting to Canadians.
The Canadian Prime Minister promising retaliatory sanctions.
We're polite, we're reasonable, but we also will not be pushed around.
After that press conference, Mr. Trump taking direct aim at Trudeau, writing he's very dishonest and weak. And a stunning decision. The American president refused to sign the traditional statement of solidarity with the G7 allies, a statement his own team helped draft. But that didn't stop the White House from lashing out at our northern neighbor.
He really kind of stabbed us in the back.
There's a special place in hell for any foreign leader that engages in bad faith diplomacy with President Donald J. Trump.
Today, the Secretary of State still trying to play nice.
I am very confident the relationships between our countries, the United States and those G7 countries will continue to be move forward on a strong basis.
After the summit, German Chancellor Angela Merkel called President Trump's not signing of the joint resolution sobering and somewhat depressing, while French President Emmanuel Macron issued a warning, saying international cooperation cannot depend on fits of anger. Serena Marshall, ABC News, Washington.
Guatemalan and international rescuers are still working to search for survivors from last week's Fuego volcano eruption. That death toll has jumped now to 110. Survivors are trying to recover the bodies of relatives and friends. Nearly 200 people are still missing as the volcano continues to spew ash and smoke. Right now, wildfires in southwestern Colorado causing 2,000 people to evacuate. Hot, dry, and windy conditions fueling these fires, making conditions even worse. The area north of Durango nearly doubled in size overnight to more than 17,000 acres. No homes have been lost so far, and the cause of that fire is still not clear. Happening today, the newest World Trade Center building now open in New York City. The 80-story structure is now the third highest high-rise completed where the third high-rise completed where the Twin Towers once stood. This comes after years of delays on the nearly 1,100-foot tall building.
The building is to create a 21st century piece of architecture. The lobby, the glass, it's all supposed to allow light and have sort of the exterior environment really permeate into the building.
The nearly $3 billion building is the 5th tallest building now in New York City. An update now out of Venice, where construction on downtown roads will not be complete in time for the holiday parade later this year. The project's original timeline had construction well on into its second month by now, but due to the rebuilding to get the costs down, it will not start for about another month now. And at least some of the work is expected to continue through next March, well past the parade scheduled for late November. The project will replace much of downtown Venice's roads and sidewalks. And there are just a few hours left to cast your vote for Lecom Park. Ballpark Digest magazine has announced the home of the Bradenton Marauders as a finalist in its online poll for Best High A Minor League Stadium in Florida. Last year's winner was Joker Merchant Stadium in Lakeland. Fans have until 2 o'clock this afternoon to vote for Lecom. You can go to our website, mysuncoast.com, for more information on how to vote. Let's get another check on our weather now with meteorologist John Scalzi. No rainouts for the Marauders lately. No. All the showers, you see them building to the east, and they stay there.
Pretty much. We do have one lone shower over Northport right now, which is good for them. Help break the heat a little bit this afternoon. But it'll also leave them kind of humid a little bit later on today as well. Other than that, there's just not a big chance of rainfall for us today. Dry air in place. The KCK webcam put into motion shows some very pretty weather out there. UV indexes are high. If you're headed to the beaches, be sure and wear that sunscreen. They're up at 11 today, which is in the extreme category. Otherwise, everything looks pretty on track for a very lovely afternoon. One lone thunderstorm moving out of Northport now, heading into interior sections just to the east of the interstate. I think that's pretty much what we'll see this afternoon is east of the interstate, showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two. Other than that, quiet conditions across a lot of central Florida today. We have showers to the north and showers to the south, and a daytime high coming in at about 88. We'll put the rain chance at about 20% this afternoon, and we'll look for a pretty fair evening with a temperature of about 85 by 7 p.m. Should be a lovely overnight with temperatures in the upper 70s. Complete forecast in a second.
Thank you, John. Happening across the state right now, a man suspected of shooting an Orlando police officer is reportedly holding 4 young children hostage. This is happening in an apartment complex near the Universal Studios theme park. Officers responded late Sunday to a call about a man hitting his girlfriend. That's when the suspect and police exchanged fire. One officer was shot and is now in serious condition, but is expected to survive. A SWAT team is now trying to negotiate with the man who has 4 children with him between the ages of 1 and 12. Police say the safety of the children is their main concern, and they hope this situation will end peacefully. Looking ahead, survivors and victims' relatives are getting together to mark 2 years since the Pulse nightclub shooting, with a remembrance ceremony, a run, art exhibits, and litigation. Some have also sued the Orlando Police Department and the owners of the nightclub ahead of Tuesday's event, remembering the 2016 massacre. The lawsuit claims police should have acted more aggressively to stop the shooter. But Orlando police say their officers and other law enforcement officers did everything they could to save as many lives as possible. The gunman was killed at the nightclub in a shootout with police. Florida's short red snapper season is now underway. Snapper is in season in both state and federal waters right now, but it's only open from today through July 20th. So if you want to catch some of the delicious fish, you'll need recreational saltwater and Gulf Reef angler licenses. Take a look at this. Over the weekend, more than a dozen dead snakes were picked up after being hit by cars on a stretch of Palmer Boulevard near the celery fields in Sarasota. Wildlife experts are not sure why this keeps happening every year. The snakes collected were banded water snakes and Florida green snakes, neither of which are venomous. And a reminder today from wildlife officials, if you see a wild animal, just leave it alone, and if it appears to be hurt, report it. That's the message Matthews Wildlife Rescue is hoping to get across after the death of a baby deer in a local neighborhood.
Said that this lady has been taking that little fawn in her house and letting her kids play with it. I went out there, checked on the fawn. She said it was acting strange. The fawn was dead. And that's because human interaction.
Although the fawn did not survive, something positive did come out of the situation. It inspired 2 young girls from the area to try and help. They raised nearly $700 with a lemonade stand to help with the rescue of wild animals. Now to a heartwarming story of a Sarasota boy's generosity. 6-year-old Caleb McCaffrey was giving up birthday presents this year. Instead, he asked for supplies to give to a homeless woman he befriended earlier this year. Caleb says he was inspired by the generosity of others when his mom was diagnosed with cancer.
Thanks to his school, thanks to the community, thanks to our temple, thanks to everyone who stepped in when I was sick. This child has picked up from the generosity of others what good it can do.
Caleb has not yet given those supplies to his friend Victoria. The family looked for her recently, but she was gone. They're now working with the Salvation Army to try to find her and give her all those donated items. All right, back to the kitchen now. Check on the pork chops with Judy Gallagher. Judy?
Well, they are coming along, Scott. Let me get that onion back on. So the broccolini and the bok choy, they'll sear off in about 2 minutes, so that will give you a little more griddle space. But using a griddle pan, whether it's outdoor or indoors, really gives you kind of a one shot at doing your whole meal, so Dad can take that day off. So we season the pork chops liberally, excuse me. Now we're going to add about, tablespoon and a half of sriracha sauce. You can also use Thai chili paste. We're going to add some sesame oil, about a tablespoon and a half of brown sugar, and that's really going to bring that flavor together. Some minced garlic and ginger, about 3 tablespoons of hoisin sauce, and I'm happy to say you can find it gluten-free, which has been hard to find, and some rice wine vinegar, but you can find it gluten-free nowadays, which is really helpful, right in that international foods aisle at most markets we have. So let's do a little taste. Yep, we got the flavor profile going on. Once the pork chops are turned both sides, they're about 5 minutes away, you're going to start to pour the glaze. Now, the sriracha is going to give it a bite. So if you have children, you might want to consider making a little bit of this marinade without the sriracha, because it does, like I said, it gives it a little bite. Get back in there. So what we're going to do is we're going to drizzle a little glaze over the vegetables. And remember, we're going to get some caramelization because of the brown sugar, okay? Then we have this beautiful marinade right here. You can even save the rest of this since it hasn't been touched with the meat. You could save that for a really nice chopped Asian salad the next day. I love when I have leftover ingredients, but I can make a whole different meal out of it. So let's turn these. They've already been turned on either side, and now we're just going for the glaze. So let's give that a little help right there. We'll finish those pork chops off. We have our shiitake mushrooms, and we're just about ready to plate to bring a wonderful Father's Day meal to the guys here. We'll be back in a moment for a taste.
Hello, Mom.
Amanda's mom's appointment just got rescheduled for today. Amanda needs Right at Home. Our customized care plan provides as much or as little help as her mom requires, whether it's a ride to the doctor or help around the house.
Oh, of course. Tom, I am really sorry. I've got to go.
Look, call Right at Home. Get the right care right at home.
If you don't want to fall immediately into love, look away. If you don't want to awaken a desire for excellence, look away. If you don't want to be seduced, please look away.
Rediscover your passion for driving at Sunset Maserati Alfa Romeo of Sarasota.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
Picking out a new ceiling fan? That's a do-it-yourself. Installing your new ceiling fan?
No.
That's a don't do it yourself. For ceiling fans, rewires, or anything electrical, play it safe. And call on the trained electricians from your locally owned Mr. Sparky. It's no accident that so many of our customers are repeat customers. Trust Mr. Sparky for all your electrical repairs.
Call 888-8-SPARKY.
My life motto is keep moving. And as hard as it was when my husband passed away, I knew I had to keep doing what I love. Oops, coming. But I needed help with my insurance, and that's what the NAIC provides. They have resources to help you and your family make the best decision and they'll help you to keep moving forward, just like me.
Now your ABC 7 First Alert weather forecast with meteorologist John Scalzi.
So aloft, we've had this general southerly flow helping to bring moisture up from the south, and we've had a lot of showery activity down around, well, anywhere from Lauderdale all the way down through the Florida Keys and Straits. That little area of disturbed weather, we're just on the very northern edge of that, and we're getting a shower that's occurring right now, moving toward Arcadia, actually. The shower itself is just crossing over Northport, just moving past the interstate around Jacaranda, and it does have some lightning flashes with it, so we do have a thunderstorm in progress here, but that's the only one we got, and that'll probably be about it for a lot of the coastal regions today. Everything else will be mostly in inland areas, about a 20% chance of that. Mostly sunny skies, dry today, 88 the temperature. As we get into the evening hours, we'll drop down into the 80s and to the mid 80s and lower 80s, and then eventually drop down into the 70s overnight. High pressure is our dominant weather feature. It's kind of nosing in across the peninsula, and what it tends to do is bring us a light enough wind field that we catch the sea breeze in the afternoon, pushing most all the shower activity into inland areas and along the spine of the state. I think that'll be true for the next couple of days, bringing the coastal regions about a 20% chance of showers, but a lot of the area seeing rainfall in inland locations only. So sunny and dry today. Calm in the tropics, that's the good news. You know, we've had some, I've been watching the area down around Nicaragua for any kind of development that might occur there. I had a couple of computer models that maybe suggested that we might see some. Most computer models said we wouldn't, and in fact we haven't. Better rainfall by the end of the week. I think some of that tropical moisture might lift a little bit further to the north. Here's a European model forecast showing this area of disturbed weather down to the south and in the Caribbean. Gradually lifting northward, I think we'll probably see that infusion of moisture along the coastline of Texas and Mexico as we head into the end of the week. For us, I think a little backdoor cold front, kind of a trough of low pressure off the east coast, plus an increase in this tropical moisture, although we're just on the very edge of it, might help to see a few more showers around, particularly on Friday. Otherwise, in the tropics, things are looking pretty quiet. Just this one cluster of storms we continue to monitor. The Hurricane Center says no tropical development over the next 5 days, but we'll continue to watch it as we always do. Most of the Atlantic is just dead quiet. Not a whole lot going on there at all, thanks to a big pool of moisture and calm, quiet conditions. Otherwise, Gulf water is also pretty dry. We have some dry air located here, kind of sinking southward, passing the Yucatan, headed toward that massive cloud cover in the Caribbean. A little bit of that has moved into our area, and that's why we're staying dry here. Another reason we're staying dry here again today. Southeast wind switches west this afternoon with that sea breeze at about 10 knots. Should be a nice day out on the waters. 2-foot seas like chop. Shouldn't be too many showers around. Forecast for the next 7 days calls for nice warm temperatures each and every day for the next 3 days with that slight chance of a shower. Mostly inland. A few of the storms might work their way back to the coast, but mostly inland. Same thing on Thursday. Then on Friday, we have a little bit better chance of the rainfall at about 50%. And then as we head into the weekend, especially the second half of the weekend, we'll start to dry out once again as temperatures climb to near the 90-degree mark. Back to you, Scott.
All right, John, thank you. In consumer news, the way the internet is regulated is changing in a big way today. It involves net neutrality, which mandates internet providers have to treat everyone online equally. In other words, no speeding up, slowing down, or blocking specific websites or online services. The rule originally passed under President Obama, but the Trump administration repealed it in December. The Federal Communications Commission said the repeal will remove problematic regulations. But opponents say the repeal gives internet providers the power to limit competitors and new technologies. Well, it may not be long before Chrysler drives off into the sunset, with Fiat Chrysler looking for a new leader as longtime head Sergio Marchionne leaves at the end of this year. There are questions about the future of the Chrysler brand. One blogger who follows the automaker says the case against Chrysler still being here in the year 2030 is pretty convincing. Right now, it only has 2 models, the 300 sedan and the Pacifica minivan. More Amazon Prime members will now be able to save extra cash at Whole Foods. The grocery chain is expanding discounts for Prime members to 10 new states Wednesday and to all of its U.S. stores later this summer. Deals include an extra 10% off sale items and free 2-hour delivery in some areas. To get the discounts, though, shoppers have to scan a code on an app or use their phone number when checking out. Amazon bought Whole Foods nearly a year ago for nearly $14 billion. Still to come in your Suncoast News, an emotional moment at the Tony Awards last night, how students from Stoneman Douglas High School honored one of their late teachers.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
The following message is brought to you by Mesobook.com.
People who have been diagnosed with mesothelioma have many questions. How did I get this disease? What are my treatment options? How will this affect my loved ones? You need answers, which is why we offer a free book written by medical professionals who have treated mesothelioma.
Call toll-free at 1-800-777-1366 or go to Mesobook.com.
Every time you purchase a fishing license or register your boat, you're helping to preserve our nation's coastlines, lakes, rivers, and streams, protecting memories for generations to come. Learn how your participation in boating and fishing can help the environment at takemefishing.org/conservation.
Designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here. Because
Why, you don't like my hair?
The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds.
No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm gonna show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch the Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
Meet Blue. Blue's not feeling well. The prescription? Generic medication. Blue wonders, do they really work as well as name brands? Yes, generics and name brand medications do work the same. Even though they may look different, generics have the same key ingredients. FDA approval is equally rigorous for generics to make sure they're as safe and effective as name brands. And Blue even saves some green, making him a little less, well, blue. Talk to your doctor about generics and visit fda.gov/generic drugs.
Many websites selling medication may look professional and legitimate, but the vast majority of sites selling prescription drugs are doing so illegally. Criminals use websites to sell counterfeit medications that may contain life-threatening toxins. Dot Pharmacy is a website verification program that helps you identify safe and trustworthy online pharmacies. Purchasing medicine online can be safe and easy. Just look for pharmacy to the right of the dot in website addresses.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Father's Day lunch, John.
This is gorgeous. This is a Scott meal here.
I think
right?
It's got a little. I don't know if he's going to like the curry. I'm a little nervous.
Oh, that's so good.
It's a burst of different flavors and not your normal just plain pork chops.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you think you'd like that for Father's Day?
Bring it on. Yeah, delicious. Recipes on our website, mysuncoast.com. Go on there, click on the dining link page, and it'll give you all the information you need. I love it, Judy.
Great.
This is great stuff. This will be a home run on Father's Day.
Scott, I'm saving you one.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm sure I'm going to love it. Thank you so much. In entertainment news, a new movie is roaring overseas while a popular singer can't utter a note. And your first look at First Man. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
Are you okay?
I'm okay.
Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom hits U.S. theaters a week from Friday, and it's getting a great running start. The dinosaur-filled follow-up opened in 48 international markets with an estimated $151.1 million, higher than expected and one of the best overseas debuts of the year.
What's wrong with being confident?
Tears of frustration for Demi Lovato, who had to cancel her concert in London Sunday due to swollen vocal cords. The singer apologized to her fans on Instagram, saying, "It breaks my heart to let you down." The show's been rescheduled for June 25th.
Neil, if his flight is successful, you'll go down in history. What kind of thoughts do you have about that?
We're planning on the flight being successful.
Ryan Gosling reteams with his La La Land director Damien Chazelle to play Neil Armstrong in First Man, which focuses on the frightening unknowns of attempting to land on the moon. The first trailer for the drama just dropped. The film blasts off in October. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
That one looks good. An emotional moment unfolded at last night's Tony Awards. Some students from the drama department at Stoneman Douglas High School in Broward County performed a song honoring one of their teachers who lost her life in the shooting earlier this year. The audience gave the students a standing ovation after they sang Seasons of Love from the musical Rent. Legendary animator John Lasseter is leaving Disney at the end of the year. Lasseter had served as chief creative officer of Pixar and Disney Animation before taking a leave of absence last year, saying he needed a break after what he called missteps that made some fellow co-workers feel disrespected and uncomfortable. Lasseter is behind some of the biggest animated movies of all time. Things like Toy Story, Finding Nemo, and Frozen. Finally, what cocktail best communicates the lively, colorful spirit of Key West? Well, a Washington, D.C. bartender answered that question with a drink named #UpgradeYa. Joe McDaniel's entry earned top marks from judges with a creative concoction featuring ingredients like blueberry vodka and key lime juice. McDaniel's prize for the drink includes bragging rights and a $10,000 donation to a charity of her choice. Sounds interesting, that drink.
Those look like Key West bartenders.
Yeah,
I don't know. Great fun place.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, we've got a really cool live look at Singapore right now. This is really one of the world's most beautiful cities at night. They light it up. There's a Formula One race there each year, which they run at night. It's all under the lights, which is pretty cool. Of course, a big summit happening there tomorrow. Hope you'll join us again at 5 o'clock. Until then, have a great day.